Have you ever heard of a ghost ship, doomed to wander the oceans forever, cursed to never reach land? For centuries, the legend of the Flying Dutchman has haunted sailors across the world. The tale dates back to the 17th century, during daring voyages through stormy seas. Near the Cape of Good Hope, infamous for its violent storms and monstrous waves, a mysterious event is believed to have occurred, giving birth to one of the most chilling and enduring maritime legends in history. Join me as we dive into the misty depths of the ocean to uncover the truth behind this phantom vessel. The tale begins with a ship of the Dutch East India Company, VOC, known as the Flying Dutchman. This ship, commanded by a captain named Decken, was attempting to navigate around the Cape of Good Hope. However, during the perilous journey, the ship was struck by a violent storm and could not continue. As all hope seemed lost, Captain Decken, a determined and arrogant man, ignored the pleas of the crew and stubbornly insisted on pushing forward. He even dared to challenge both God and the devil, proclaiming he would pass the Cape of Good Hope, even if it meant facing death. In his defiance of fate, Decken's ship was destroyed in the catastrophic storm, and both the captain and his crew were cursed. The ship was not only lost, but also trapped in a spectral realm, condemned to wander the oceans forever. According to the legend, Decken and his crew became immortal souls, forever unable to escape their cycle of punishment, doomed to drift in this world as a ghost ship, never able to reach port. Since then, the Flying Dutchman became a symbol of punishment and curse. This ghost ship is believed to bring bad omens to anyone who encounters it at sea. Sailors have passed down stories of the ship appearing suddenly, gliding past other vessels through thick fog, with tattered sails and dim, eerie lights from a ship that could never dock. One of the most terrifying aspects of the Flying Dutchman is its ability to summon storms. It is believed that every time the ship appears, fierce winds rise and waves become violently dangerous, threatening any ship sailing nearby. Furthermore, the Flying Dutchman is said to be a deceiver, with its crew trying to send messages to their loved ones. These messages, though sent with hope, were always unsuccessful. Anyone who dares to approach the ghost ship would face a tragic death, and no one survives to tell the tale. The story of the Flying Dutchman is not just an old myth, but also tied to reports from sailors over the centuries, who claim to have seen the ghost ship at mysterious and perilous times. One of the most notable incidents involving the Flying Dutchman occurred in the 18th century, when a European ship was sailing near England. The crew reported seeing the ghost ship appear on a foggy evening. Soon after, a violent storm struck, destroying the European ship and killing most of the crew. Only a few survivors remained, and they later recounted that before the storm hit, they had seen the Flying Dutchman, its ghostly form passing through the darkness as if an omen of the disaster that was about to occur. Another strange instance of the Flying Dutchman's appearance occurred on a quiet night, with no signs of storms or waves. During a voyage in distant waters, a ship suddenly encountered the Flying Dutchman. What was odd this time was that there was no storm or stormy weather, just a quiet and calm atmosphere. However, immediately after seeing the ghost ship, the crew began to show strange behavior. Some of them panicked, losing control and going mad. The rest of the crew witnessed the horrifying scene as many sailors destroyed themselves, their actions completely unexplainable. Even without a storm, the appearance of the Flying Dutchman brought madness and suffering to those who witnessed it. In 1881, one of the sightings of the Flying Dutchman was recorded by famous witnesses: Prince George, later King George V, and his brother Albert. While aboard the HMS Inconstant off the coast of Australia, they witnessed a strange and terrifying sight. According to their account, they saw a glowing ship with a mysterious red light gliding through the night. Despite the ship's light being clearly visible, it vanished quickly without leaving any trace. The appearance of the Flying Dutchman not only left a strong impression on the princes, but also shocked the crew. A sailor aboard the HMS Inconstant reported the ghost ship's sighting after witnessing it himself. However, shortly after, this sailor fell from the mast and died. His death further deepened the mystery and fear surrounding the Flying Dutchman story, making the ghost ship a symbol of unavoidable punishment and a bad omen for anyone who dares to see it. Throughout the centuries, reports of sightings of the Flying Dutchman have come not only from sailors, but also from other sources, including strange stories from World War II. One notable rumor concerns a German U-boat during World War II. According to the account, the crew of this submarine reported seeing a ghostly ship, similar to the Flying Dutchman, appear on the ocean. However, there is no concrete evidence or official information to verify this claim, making the story even more mysterious and impossible to prove, remaining just an unsubstantiated rumor. Although the legend of the Flying Dutchman has become a part of maritime folklore, no ship named De Vliegende Hollander ever existed in the history of the Dutch East India Company, VOC. However, the story may have origins in real events, particularly from actual shipwrecks near the Cape of Good Hope, which saw around 3,000 ships lost over 500 years. These accidents, accompanied by powerful storms and harsh sea conditions, could have provided the basis for the tale of a ghost ship wandering the seas forever. One theory presented on Quora suggests that the ship Vero Vlaming, 1688 to 1690, may have been the inspiration for this legend. The name of the ship could have been altered over time from Flying Fleming to Flying Dutchman, although there is no convincing evidence to confirm this theory. In the legend of the Flying Dutchman, two captain names often appear: Hendrik and Wilhelm van der Decken. However, these figures do not exist in history, and their first mention was in Blackwood's Edinburgh magazine in 1821. Since then, the name Van der Decken has become a symbol of the arrogant captain who defied fate and was cursed forever. Another theory about the inspiration for the captain character involves Bernard Fokke, a famous captain of the Dutch East India Company, VOC. Fokke was known for his exceptional speed in sailing, making him a prominent figure among sailors. However, despite his reputation for superior speed, Fokke did not meet the tragic fate described in the Flying Dutchman legend and did not die in a shipwreck. Still, his agility may have contributed to the creation of the character of Captain Van der Decken in the legendary story. Additionally, Falkenberg, a character from German folklore, is also thought to have inspired the tale of the Flying Dutchman. According to legend, Falkenberg had engaged in a gambling match with the devil, and this story may have been confused with the Flying Dutchman legend, creating strange connections between the two tales. Some scientists believe that the phenomenon of St. Elmo's fire, a type of electrical glow appearing on ship masts and bowsprits during storms, could explain the glowing ship sightings of the Flying Dutchman. This phenomenon occurs when electrical charges accumulate in the air, creating a bluish glow on protruding objects like a ship's mast. This eerie light might have led sailors to mistake it for a glowing ghost ship. Another theory involves Fata Morgana, an optical illusion that causes distant objects, like ships, to appear as though they are floating above the water or distorted. When sunlight passes through layers of air with different temperatures, it can create strange and blurry images, making a ship appear to hover above the ocean. This is a plausible explanation for reports of flying ships that sailors believed were the Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman has become a strong symbol in popular culture, appearing in numerous works of art and entertainment. A prominent example is Richard Wagner's opera Der Fliegende Holländer, 1843, where the ghost ship is depicted as a symbol of eternal punishment. Additionally, the image of the Flying Dutchman is recreated in the Pirates of the Caribbean film series, with the character Davy Jones and the Kraken monster creating a strong connection to the legendary ghost ship. It also appears in other works like SpongeBob SquarePants and One Piece, where the ghost ship is incorporated into adventurous tales. Beyond entertainment, the name Flying Dutchman has been used in other contexts. It is the name of a special dish at the In-N-Out burger chain, as well as a medical term referring to acrocyanosis, a condition where the skin and lips turn blue due to lack of oxygen. Additionally, the term is used metaphorically in discussions about immigration law, representing uncertainty and difficulty in migration decisions. Nowadays, many people believe that the legend of the Flying Dutchman may have been created by the British as a way to mock the decline of the Dutch Empire during the 17th and 18th centuries. Although there is no concrete evidence proving the existence of this ghost ship, the story has endured thanks to its ambiguity and adaptability within popular culture. The mystical elements and strange reports from sailors have helped the tale of the Flying Dutchman become an inseparable part of maritime folklore. Even though natural phenomena, such as electromagnetic lights or optical illusions, may have partially inspired the story, the Flying Dutchman remains a legend. It continues to live on in the minds of people, fueled by the power of myth and the allure of the unexplained.